Hello everyone, I continue now with the results from the generator, and you can see that it calculated over 6,000 strategies and it collected 11. Now I can check the strategies in the repository, but if you are doing the very same thing like me, you might see more or less strategies because your computer is faster or slower, and it depends as well on the number of bars you are using. The bigger number of data bars you are using, the slower it will become, right? Because it calculates over a bigger data. And if you're using fewer numbers like 100,000 or 50,000, you are going to see more strategies calculated. So keep that in mind. Now let me go to the repository and we will see some of the results. You can see here is my collection, and I can download the collection to make sure I'm not losing the work, and later I can come back and select another strategy from the collection. So let's see what we have. The first strategy has a pretty decent balance line, and actually it is a very simple strategy that uses the Kettler channel, the gutter oscillator, and it has a stop loss. And if I click one time on the strategy, I will see the strategy slots on the right side. If I click on the second one, I will see the strategy slots, the third one. And if I click 2 times over the strategy, it will open in a new tab where I can see more about the account statistic. All right, so now let me select a few strategies that I'll be using. And I don't determine initially how many strategies I want to have from the collection. Sometimes I don't like any of the strategies and I run the generator again. Sometimes it might happen that I will use most of the strategies or all of them. So let's see what we have here, and you will see how I am analyzing the results. So the first strategy, and actually it is the one that is displayed over my Euro USD M15 tab where I run the generator. Okay, you will see the top one from the collection in that tab, or if you open it from the repository, you double click on it, it will open in a new tab. The strategy properties are very similar to what we did as a template, but there are a few changes that the generator did. We can see the entry amount and the maximum position amount is the same. The generator decided to add to the position no matter if it is a winner or a loser, and to do nothing if we see opposite signal, and it added a take profit of 84 pips or 840 points. Now we have stop loss and take profit from the strategy properties, but as well we have it as an indicator, and you can see that the generator added a stop loss level 279 pips, which is pretty big stop loss, by the way, for the euro dollar on M15. I will just try to make it a little bit more roundish. Let's go for 280 pips, and you see there was not a huge difference in the balance chart, which means that the strategy is not really dependent on the stop loss. I'll click on OK. And what are the rules for this strategy? The Kettler channel using a weighted smoothing method with MA period of 195, ATR period 19, and ATR multiplier 6. And we enter when we are at the lower band. And at the same time, we have the gutter oscillator with the rule the gutter oscillator contracts. And here are the parameters, the jaws, the teeth, the lips, which is well known as the alligator indicator. But in this case, it is an oscillator. It will be displayed below the chart. So let me show it to you on the indicator chart so we'll have a better idea about the strategy. Here is the gutter oscillator. As I told you, it is below the chart. We have Kettler channel, which is quite similar to the Bollinger Bands, and we can clearly see where the positions were opened. So this green line over here identifies that there was a long trade, and from this point in time there was a short trade that is marked with red dots, and from here we have another long trade or the strategy bought at this time. You can zoom the chart to see exactly where the entry is. Okay, right over here you can see the small green arrow shows that we had the entry because we had the confirmation from the two indicators. But now I'm not going into deep details about the indicators and when exactly and why they opened the trades. More, I want to show you how to analyze the strategy using the analytical tools in FSB Pro. So what we have here is the comparator, the multi-markets, and the Monte Carlo. I will click on the comparator and it shows the results when we are doing pessimistic method, optimistic, nearest method, shortest method. Let me click on start so you'll see exactly what it does. Actually, it performs random method tests using these different backtesting methods. And by default on the graph we see the pessimistic one. Here it is, you can change it. And for some strategies you will see that the methods really matter, and for some there will be no huge difference. It depends on the indicators and the entry rules. Let's wait a few more seconds to see the results. Absolutely, the strategy is robust when it comes to the different backtesting methods. The multi-market is an interesting analytical tool which helps you to test the strategy quickly. For example, on pound dollar for the M15 chart, dollar Swiss or dollar yen, and you can see what will be the result in there. Now, I am not really a huge fan, to be honest with you, on the multi-markets, because if the strategy is losing on the other pairs like it is at the moment, it doesn't really mean that it will be losing for the euro dollar, because it was designed for the euro dollar, right? So we should not really expect to see the strategies working on all time frames and on all assets. Okay, the one I like the most is the Monte Carlo, which I will explain in details in the next video, because I use Monte Carlo with every single strategy, and for me it is crucially important to understand how Monte Carlo works, because this will make it easier for you to filter the strategies, especially from the repository. At first glance, traders choose the strategies with most net profit and the ones that are expected to bring the best results. But actually, I use Monte Carlo to decide if I'll be using this strategy or not. And you will see why just in the next video.